So, not long ago, I introduced y'all to the concept of the six pillar model, where every pillar is basically a part of the code, the human code. And if we are able to crack, so to say, all of our pillars or control them, we can better ourselves, become a better person to make others a better person themselves. Today, I want to introduce you quickly to the psychology pillar because I think it's one of the most fundamental pillars that we have. You're going to see why as well. So first of all, psychology is of course the study of the mind and behavior, but because behavior is another pillar, we don't really care much about behavior in the psychology pillar. So psychology in itself encompasses and covers certain subfields, certain subcategories, such as cognition, attention, memory, also emotions, but memory is of course also a pillar for itself, so not part of this. Then we also have language use, perception, and identity development, personal development. All of these subcategories are also a big part of psychology and play a role, an important role, but it's enough to know a few. You don't need to go into depths with those subcategories, because if you're going to see later, I'm going to give you methods and tools and so on that we can cover many subcategories with certain tools at once, and we don't need to go into every subcategory in its own. So why is psychology a pillar? As you have seen in the video or on my Patreon, you're also going to see a lot that a pillar is part of the human code. And I personally think that psychology is something that we have, and it's very needed in our day-to-day life, in our whole life, in our mental processes. And because psychology covers so much of ourselves as beings and in our time as we are, it's not only needed, it is mandatory to be a pillar to grasp the other pillars, okay? Because we can understand psychology as the very core of ourselves. We can understand it, so to say, as the nexus. It's like, if we talk about computer language, it's like the code shell we run on. I hope you can understand this. And there are deeper layers, which is the unconscious or the conscious, that influences us from within, and especially our psychology, but our psychology can also be influenced from without. So what are the benefits of understanding our psychology pillar? If we can alter it, we can become, of course, a better person. We can see the world through eyes of abundance, with a clearer mind, with better understanding of our own mental processes. We can see when we are personally unaligned, when sometimes we making emotional decisions that don't really make sense to us. We can see it, understand it better, so we have more emotional intelligence also towards other people. When we understand ourselves better, we can also understand others better, so it's like giving and taking. Because in the end goal is of course to become a better person, to make others a better person, and psychology plays such a big role for this. And as we're going to see further on, that as we are going to discover unalignments in our flow and cognitive state, that this is also going to alter the other layers, such as thinking and memory. But let me tell you, all of this is only possible when we practice and study. Practice on ourselves and study on ourselves, but also on other information and data. And I hope you're going to follow my journey, as we are both going to discover our psychology pillar a bit more, a lot more actually, and then we're going to see each other again in the next video.